Welcome to this week's episode of the Weekly Magazine. My name's Costas.
Hi, I'm Chris.
Now, Chris, let's get down to the winner for last week's anagram.
And the anagram was Tot, Devil, Heckling, which was...
Travelling Deck by Takel.
Yay!
We have the winners here. Would you like to give them a shake? There was quite a few. I'm surprised.
Surprised, so pleasantly surprised. Oh, wow.
It's getting all weird on me again.
Usual daily tasks. And our winner is Wiz Spencer.
Now that's
Hi,
funny. I think it's the first time he's entered this competition and he's won.
Hey! Luck at us
right.
wrong.
So where's contact and we'll sort something out for you. We got the leftover packet of crisps.
Yeah, well, half a packet. I ate some yesterday.
Hence why I said leftovers. Which means it's not a full packet. Right. What am I holding this?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've got a word of the week this week.
Mystery word.
So we have a word in here.
Mystery word. I have never seen before. I'm about to look at it though.
And it's an interesting one.
Ooh, the suspense. Oh, it's an interesting one. I don't like when you say things like that. Makes me nervous.
I've met a lot of these in my time.
Okay.
No idea how you're going to bring that word in. And we have to bring that word in a few times throughout the show, not just once or twice, because people won't get it. We've learnt when we were ill, we weren't saying actually what the word was.
That's true.
So,
okay. Improv skills to the test.
Now, I'm going to test you. And I'm just looking at the monitor there and I just went blank and I forgot where I was and what I was going to do. So this week we have once-overs. We have Blossom by
Sans Minds.
Will Tsai. We've had this for a while, been playing with it, and we're going to talk about it. And then the next one is Loaded One by James Brown. It's an interesting one.
Yes, and our blast from the past is Magic Tao's very own Hospitality by Max Francis.
Fantastic. Let's get on with this week's show. And the first once over this week is Blossom by Will Tsai. Let's watch the official trailer and we'll come back and discuss it. Now you've seen the official trailer. Now what is Blossom? Blossom is a utility in order to aid you in doing fork bending.
Yes.
Now there's a lot of purists out there that actually do fork bending, spoon bending with normal forks and spoons. Now, for those that are not confident in doing that, or they want something that's gimmicky and self-working, then Blossom is for you. It's not a cheap product. It's actually
fairly expensive.
Fairly expensive. It's very, very expensive.
Yeah.
But it does a fantastic job. It uses memory metal in order to be able to adjust and bend within the spectator's hand. So you can get a fork, place it in a spectator's hand.
Yeah.
And it will start bending.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've had this out of the fridge for about 10 minutes. Ideally, I would have preferred it to be out for longer.
Yeah.
Because if your hands are cold or your the fork is still cold, it just won't activate.
Just won't go, yeah.
And with the heat from your hand, your fist, it will start activating the memory metal in order to twist the, what are they called, the tongs, the prongs?
Yeah, the prongs of the fork.
Now if you have a look, it's actually started to bend them.
It is, yes.
It started to bend the forks, and it's also starting to bend there as well. And of course you would all use your psychological movements, as though you know, sending some psychic energy and you're bending it. And
yeah, the way he does it is he does a practical bend first with another piece, and he says, I'm going to transfer my power to the spectator, and he gives the spectator that, and he has them hold, and starts to bend. And
you need to familiarise yourself quite a lot with this. First, when we were playing with it and trying to set this, we weren't confident enough. It took a few tries in order to get confident in actually setting it up properly.
Yeah.
Which isn't a big deal, because like with anything, you just need to familiarise yourself with the props.
Yeah, because we're not quite there with the timing yet. Trying to get when to take it out, what's a good, how long to leave it before you can start activating it. I mean, it is going now.
Now it is going. You can actually see it. It's actually beveled here, and it's beveled even more, as you can see.
Ooh. The other thing we should mention, especially about this, is there are two types out there, and we got the RW, the wide range one, which isn't necessarily suitable for colder climates.
Yeah, it activates from 25 degrees upwards, so we're not in the ideal climate for that to happen. If you get the other one, activates at a lower temperature, and it would have been set pretty quick, much more quicker than this.
Yes.
Now this is bending, even the tongs actually bend even more.
They do, yeah.
However, it's not really ideal for our climate.
No, not really, no.
If I put it next to a hot sauce...
Yeah, and leave it there for a bit and then go into it.
It would start bending.
So yeah, that is a word to the wise, especially England or colder climates. Now
we
unless you really need the wide range one, get the other one. I think if you're gonna do it at a gig or whatever. Depends.
Yeah, and we can film this again and we can actually show it to you, but there's actually no point. It does work.
Yes.
You need to familiarise yourself with this. Don't get the WR because it's
just takes
slow activating in this climate of ours in the UK. If you get the other one, it would set pretty quickly. I'll put it next to a heat source,
there you go.
As you can see, the prongs have actually started to turn.
To bend?
So, and the whole thing's actually started to bend.
Memory metal's just a cool thing. I still don't know how they do it.
It's a great science. So I'll leave it there, and it will bend completely back to its
bent form.
Yeah. And it's a great little thing. I think I'm actually going to try. I don't do any fork bending or anything, but I want to test this one out and see, and get the right timings.
Yes.
Get the timings of how long it needs to be out of the freezer.
Yeah, and how long out of the freezer until you can. Be warm enough
so there'll be quite a bit of testing. We never had the luxury of actually doing all this testing before this, but of what we've seen, as you can see now, it's actually warped even more.
And for some reason, our fridge is really, really, really cold.
Yeah, it does need replacing. You put a can of Coke in the fridge, and
it will be frozen.
The following day you can shake it and you can eat ice inside. So it's not actually ideal. So we probably overfroze this.
Yeah, maybe.
But you can see it's actually, look at this. It's fantastic.
It's also after it's sort of finally done, it's a very pretty thing to look at. I
know the arguments will be, well, you know, if I do fork bending with a normal fork, then I don't have to worry about timings and stuff. Well, you don't actually have to worry about timings with this.
No.
You just need to play around with it, familiarise yourself with it, and be in the right environment for it as well. Mm-hmm. Now, because it's a gimmick, you're only going to use it once, so you're going to use it at the right time when the thing's ready. Yep. So it's going to be that miracle. Absolutely, yep. It's got its time and place. Yep. I do recommend it for those people that want, if you could afford it and want something to play with. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great product.
Our second once over this week is James Brown's LoadOne. Let's have a look at the official trailer and have a talk about it afterwards.
Now you can perform card to wallet anytime, any place, and have it look completely natural.
Anytime you like, touch any card at all.
What's your favourite colour?
Blue.
Blue.
Okay. One blue card. Did you choose the ace of... Is that correct?
That's correct.
In your face.
I am very impressed with that, I have to say.
In fact, don't go anywhere. You can help out with this. And place the other hand as a sandwich on top, nice and firm.
Stop.
Just there. Have a look at this card.
Yeah.
I'll show you too. The signature from the hand. Hold that for me. I've made a prediction. We'll come back to it in a second.
Oh, have a look. Well, that's how we impressed. That's my signature. That's my signature. How do I do that?
Whether you're a seasoned professional or a relative newcomer to Magic, this puts card to wallet in your hands. Do you own a smartphone? Then you need LoadOne.
Now you've just seen the official trailer for LoadOne. What to say about it? I don't know. I opened it and it wasn't what I expected, but not in a bad way.
It actually wasn't what I expected either. It's an interesting product because it actually does work.
Yeah.
And it's really well made as well. Really
Smells
nice,
delicious.
Now, have you got your phone?
I do have my phone. Yeah. There we go.
So the idea is basically the phone sits
Right there.
Right there. It gives you a couple of ways of how to actually set it in that position. We haven't done it because we didn't want to actually...
we didn't want to mess around with our little one here.
With our sample here.
Yeah.
And it sets in there and you're ready to do a card to wallet.
Yes. And so you open it and it's a nice little display, especially with your cards and whatever you have in there, with also having your phone. Because these are becoming ever more popular now. Having phone wallets.
I've seen a lot of people with wallets that have phones in.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't carry a wallet with me at all. And I guess having something like this might actually work. But then again, you do need to have... ideally, it's more if you've got a jacket, isn't it? Would you be able to have that in your trousers pocket?
I mean...
possibly.
Possibly? Does that actually... I'll test it for you guys. Actually, that doesn't stick out that much in my back pocket. But I mean, I would be wary of that because it's a thing... The only thing that I dislike about phone wallets is the fact that you've got your phone, you've got your credit card, you've got like all ID in one place. So like I wouldn't put it in my back pocket because they're just too easily liftable.
That's a valid point.
Like that's all your valuables in one place, which someone could just take.
But you know, loads of people that do card to wallet. It's a very natural thing to have a phone in a wallet nowadays.
It is.
And doing a card into phone wallet, it's not a bad idea because it does function basically like a card to wallet. Or
Yeah.
it is a card to wallet. It just
With a
happens
phone.
to be with a phone.
So it's sort of it's a nice transition between the old school wallets that not many people use anymore, the long, nice, leather wallets that go in your breast pocket, with the addition of a phone.
I don't think the spectators will figure this out by holding it.
No, you can.
It's actually really well made. It is really well made. I'm not sure it would work with an iPhone 6 Plus.
I was just going to say, it does come in two sizes. It comes in, this is technically the small size, which, if we're going to do iPhone sort of analogies, that's an iPhone 5, and that fits in that wallet, but they have a bigger one for the iPhone 6, or bigger, sort of, the bigger tablet-y phones as well. So that's the small one, that fits the iPhone 5.
And take note, it's not just for an iPhone, it's for every phone out there.
Yeah.
So depending on the size of your phone, you're buying a particular one, the
Yes.
smaller, the medium or the large one.
Beware of that, because I did test it with your phone. I just put it in to see, and it definitely didn't fit.
Yeah.
So just be aware, when you get one, make sure that you get the right size.
We're actually going to road test this as well, because it is a fun little thing to have.
Yeah, be nice to have in my breast pocket, actually.
Just need to decide how you're going to implement it in there. There's a couple of
Yes.
ways James Brown explains on how to set the phone in there
Yep.
to stay permanent, i.e. it doesn't move, and it's...
But
very
also the
safe.
nice thing is, you can also take, with those methods, you can take your phone off as well if you want to take photos or whatever.
Yeah,
So it's not
absolutely.
permanently stuck in there. You're not going to have your phone in there forever.
No, it's really good, and I like James Brown's method rather than the method that's applied with it.
Yes, yeah. We're not going to say anything, but you'll know what we mean.
Yeah, when you buy it, and there's also a Facebook place where you can discuss ideas
Ideas and
all
whatnot.
that kind
There's
of
a group.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's a streaming download for the explanation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good product.
It's a great idea. It's really well made as well.
I think personally with an iPhone 6 Plus and putting it in here and stuff, for me it would be too bulky.
Too big, yeah.
But then again, I'm not used to
Having
carrying wallets with me.
Right.
Yeah. Ironically, I do have one on me today, but very rarely.
Hmm.
I usually have my cash just shoved in
like-
my back pocket, my debit card.
Yeah, because like when you've got that, especially with an iPhone 6, and you've got all your... Because that doesn't have any of my credit cards or whatever in it. It would be like, especially with an iPhone 6, it'd be like carrying a cow in your pocket. Like this massive thing. Yeah, whatever. Big. Yeah, I get what you mean.
You reverse it, wanted to give out some milk.
Which we'll get to later.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Yes, we will.
See that
So
transition?
that is LoadOne by James Brown.
Yes.
Actually, it's better than what I expected.
Yeah, what I expected was more of an iPhone case thing. And then
Yeah.
this, but I like this better.
It's very clean and simple.
Mm.
There's no mechanism you sit your phone in and adjust it or anything like that, and that's the beauty of this. That's what I really like about this. There's nothing to make this bulky. You know,
No, it is its bare minimum, but sort of in its minimalistic design, in a beautiful way. I like the fact that it's not cluttered with excess little bits on it or whatever.
No.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. You can have your credit cards in there. You can and you unzip it for the card to wallet
Mhm.
to take the card out. And it's really well done. Well done. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
We posted a question last week for this week, and it was regarding how long do you give yourself before purchasing the magic trick and performing it at a gig?
Yeah.
Do you do it immediately? Do you wait? You know, what wanted to get into your head to figure out or understand what different, you know, what people's opinion on this subject is.
Yes.
Now we've got Warren Treadaway.
Oh, hey, Warren.
He says, when purchasing a new effect, I've usually got a presentation in mind, so it's usually a case of just going through the mechanics of the effect. But no matter what the effect, I would say a minimum of a week, depending on the difficulty, as I like to road test it first a few times before using it at an actual paying gig.
Wise words. Dwayne Andrew says 30 days minimum, and it has to fit in with my existing work.
Well, Steve Rowe, it depends on the trick. One recently I bought, John Morton Baby Book. The method is so simple, it's all down to presentation, so I was able to perform it that night. If a trick or routine relies more on method and handling, I'll practice until completely happy, then work it in the restaurant to gauge time and reaction. Then I'll work it into other occasions like weddings and parties. I'll basically start to use it as soon as I can, because I can then work on the performance to help develop the effect for me. So you got sort of two different schools of thought here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go and work it and actually make it good by
performing it
in
constantly.
the real world.
Yes. Wiz Spencer, a winner this week, says it depends on the effect. I've been using paddles for ages, so when Turbo Stick came out, and I was using that the same day. I'll perform it as soon as I feel it's performance ready. Make sense?
Sean McCree, I'm with Kieran, who says, oh, where is it?
I don't know.
But he's with Kieran anyway. When you're working out new stuff, there has to come a point when you feel ready to try it for the first time. I usually try to work them in on easygoing gigs, birthday parties or anniversary parties, that sort of thing. Often that first try tells you you got something Hollywood brew on. It seemed good when you rehearsed it, but it doesn't flow for real people, so you have to go home and rethink it, which you can't do until you've tried it on real folk. On the rare occasions I buy an effect, I still need to get my head around how I need to fit for me, so there's still a lot of tweaking to do before I do it for paying audiences.
Interesting. Steve Doe says, if I can perform the moves with ease, then it goes straight into my next gig regardless. I have a basic script and perform it as much as you can, and then the script will develop. Jokes and one-liners will write themselves from the feedback you get.
Steve Doe again. I'll also add that my new effect is always added as the middle of 3 effects. I perform for a group when working, so it's not great, then they still remember the killer closer routine.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
That's a valid point. You don't want to perform something you haven't really
done before.
Yeah.
But if you do want to test it out, put it in between a strong effect and another effect. And so then if the one that you've been practicing goes down really well, that could be your closer, for instance. And if not, you've got more routines to follow with if it's not quite ready.
I think where this question arose from is, it scares me when people come in here on a Saturday, buy a trick to perform that evening.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to friends, but at a gig. Now, I can't understand that, because you don't know the effect. You've got to go home, you've got to watch the explanation, and then you go out performing it.
Yeah.
And even if there's a sleight of hand and you're familiar with the sleight of hand, you still got to know the routine.
Yeah, it's another thing. I can't wrap my head around that.
That's the answer for this week's show. This week's Blast from the Past is Hospitality by Max Francis. Let's watch the performance Chris did earlier and we'll come back and discuss it.
Could I have my cup of tea, please? Oh, thank you. No, it's alright. Hang on, I've got an idea. Actually, there we go. Thanks.
Now, you've just watched the live performance. Now, I really love this effect. It's got a very visual moment when a different coloured liquid comes out of that can.
Yes. Yeah. Especially drastically different. Like in the performance, you saw a dark liquid and then a really light liquid.
And that was wine. Sorry, it was Coke to a milk, which is interesting. It's
straight out of the udders of a cow.
It's being used by a lot of people, funny enough.
Surprisingly. Not surprisingly, but
it's a great product. I know I said that before, but it is really, really, really clever.
I do
so
like it.
simple.
In fact, this was one of the first tricks I got from you. One of the first times I came in, and I performed it at the bar.
Now, the first thing we need to say, you can use any can.
Yes.
Doesn't need to be Coke, it could be any can.
Just because I'm partial.
And you can change it to any liquid you want. So you get the DVD that explains how to do this, you get the necessary things in order to accomplish this.
Yep.
You get your own can and you get your own liquids. So you can use anything you want.
And you don't... There's a bonus effect on here, which you don't need to use a can if you like to use a cocktail shaker. So...
Yeah,
also
there's a bonus idea on there as well. Yeah. But if you like the idea of this, a parlour trick, fantastic. If you work
great close-up trick as well.
A close-up trick, it still works. You can do this literally 2 feet away from people.
Yes.
Now that's how close it is. You can do it surrounded. You can do it 2 feet away from people. I would say you could do it 1 foot away from people.
You could, yeah. And the cool thing is, there's nothing fishy about the liquids.
No,
they can drink them, or
the liquids are genuine. They can drink them and taste them.
Could be anything from cow's milk to WD-40.
For example, in this case, the Coke and milk. Can you imagine being right in front of someone and you pour the Coke out of the can, you put the straw and you taste it, and then you pour milk out, or something else? It's a very strong moment.
The funny thing is, we were across the road when we did it. And there were people there sitting down eating their food, and they're like, "What is going on?" And we were like, "You'll see." And then you don't see it. We didn't turn around, but pour the milk out, and one of the ladies sitting down was like, "What? What did I just see?"
That was really interesting. And you get some great reactions.
It does.
Fantastic reactions, and that's Hospitality by Max Francis. Now that's it for this week's show. We had Blossom by Will Tsai, Zan's Minds, LoadOne by James Brown, Card to Phone Wallet, and Hospitality by Max Francis. We have been doing loads of stuff behind the scenes, as always. Trying to get back to normal with stuff. We've got projects coming out of our ears.
Yes. We've actually got projects piled up. I can see them. Not an exaggeration, they are piled on top of each other.
Yeah, and they're going to collapse.
Actually.
We need to be careful. Yeah, there's some interesting ones. And funny enough, we've got more.
Yes. Oh, we do,
So, it's going to be, we're trying to work towards a busy 2016. We are streamlining things, changing the way we do things.
Yeah.
Changing again, the way we do the trailers, moving everything forward. The packaging, if you start to get our latest ones, the packaging is evolving and changing. And I'm looking forward to the next couple.
I am.
I'm looking forward to Scarlet Monty.
Yes!
Fantastic packet trick.
I like Scarlet Monty.
So, watch this space. Now until next week, thank you very much.
Bye!